I could do that. Could do that. Oh, and then Fui says don't listen. Alright, I'll make it slightly lower, but that's about it. Okay, let's go. Alright, at the top right is the White Terran. We have iFU Cryok. Oh my god, is this a TVT? No way, no way. Oh my god, it's a TVT! It's a TVT. I don't believe it. Is this real? Is this real life? It's impossible. What is this matchup? I mean, seriously, TVT is so rare nowadays that somebody even made a thread in the Broodor strategy forum saying, like, you know, is TVT like a hidden matchup or something? I can't remember what it was called. There's some guy asking like why nobody makes strategy guides for TVT. Anywho. Alright, let me get the overlay going. Red, white. So, a forgotten matchup, that's the one. Yeah, there we go. Forgotten. Ha! Yeah, everybody forgot about it because everybody just dodges it. Anyway, so this is gonna be interesting. So Skyline, of course, our third place finisher in the first season of TLS, and Cryok on the other hand, the super hot up and comer who's just been tearing it up in Gambit's Cup. Although he did get owned by Draw last week. Let's see how he fares against Skyline. Now, see, in terms of just like overall skill level, I think most people would say Skyline's probably better. But I think Skyline did say that his weakest matchup by far is his TVT, whereas Cryok, on the other hand, has beaten really strong players like Dima and Marwin. Dima, aka Gargoyle, so he's actually taken some pretty impressive TVT wins in Gambit's Cup already, whereas I'm not sure about Skyline. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes, especially because it's on an outsider as well. It could lead to some pretty wacky stuff. Cryok seems to like outsider or something. I feel like I feel like most of the games I've seen of him are actually on this map. Like, he beat Marwin on this map, he beat Infected on this map in the playoffs against LRM. Or wait, sorry, was it Nemu or Infected? I can't remember. It was one of those guys. And yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, apparently it was Infected. Alright. So, select Cryok and Skyline correctly, as will Skyline. Meanwhile, Cryok's sending something over here to the back. I'm just going to build a random depot straight away. Okay, that's interesting. So building a spawning depot in the back of his base very early on here. I'm not sure why that's really necessary. It does lose him a bit of mining time with that SCV, but I guess he's not too big of a deal. In the meantime, we do have one guy pulled off gas for Cryok. And Skyline had, looks like 2, and then he put them back. But he didn't get a command center yet. So I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, so I'm expecting a fast command center. Oh no, he didn't block the ramp correctly. Oh, he didn't put the Marine correctly on the ramp. It was too far to the left. It was half a pixel too far to the left. And now he gets a complete skyline off. He's not doing anything interesting anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Skyline, by the way, has done a complete wall off here. This is SCV proof, so he's not going to suffer any similar issues. And he's gone for a machine shop, and what else? Not too much. He sent the Marine to the back to make sure there's no SCV trying to sneak its way in here. It looks like an initial Vulture from Cryok going to deal with the SCV. He has gone for a fast expand, as you can see. Meanwhile, Skyline has 400 minerals. He's not built a command center yet, though. Is he... Okay, he's making a tank. Still got 400 minerals. Make a command center, dude. Is he going to go make it at the bottom left? Okay, no, he's just making it there so you can float it out. Okay, so Skyline's command center a little bit later. Both of them making it in their main base and just going to float it out. So playing it safe, playing it cool. And Cryok's gone for the siege mode. And Skyline doesn't yet. He's queued up a second tank instead. So it looks like Cryok's going to have... Or sorry, Skyline's queued up a second tank. So Skyline started his first tank first as well. He skipped the Vulture. So he's going to have one extra tank basically over Cryok. Cryok looks like he'll have siege mode first. I mean, at this early stage in the game, it doesn't really matter what the exact order is, I don't think. there isn't really an opportunity for either player to make a move just yet. So yeah, it'll just be a matter of establishing the natural and then kind of playing it from there. Natural now done for Cryok. He's getting a second factory as well. Meanwhile, Skyline doing almost the exact same thing with slightly different ordering. Sayle got his third tank before siege mode, which is quite curious to me. It does allow him to potentially be slightly aggressive if he really wants. In this early stage of the game, in low tank numbers, siege mode isn't actually very important. Unsieged tanks have about the same. Actually, they have slightly higher DPS than siege tanks, and because the splash damage doesn't really matter when you have no units to splash, you know, he can actually maybe do an attack if he wants, but I don't think he has enough of a unit advantage to really do anything. Meanwhile, it looks like Skyline's going to trick an SCV through here to maybe try and get a scout off. He's done it on the wrong patch though. He has to do it on one of the inside patches. Yeah, you can't do it on the outside patch. Oh, very well executed as well. Gets it on the first try. That's not as easy as it looks. Like, pushing a probe through with a pylon is not that hard, but pushing a worker through using another worker is actually really obnoxious. I can never figure it out. I always just use pylons. I mean, both players are going to lose a scouting worker here. And it looks like Cryok immediately going to get some Goliath range after his siege mode. I'm not sure if that Goliath range is necessarily useful this early in the game with, you know, with Skyline not showing any indications of going Wraiths or anything like that. Meanwhile, though, this scouting SCV coming in the back, I think Cryok saw that with his SCV. Yeah, he's pulling his tanks back now, but it's not quite in time. So Skyline's going to get a complete scout off on what Cryok's doing, and he's basically just going to see that Cryok's doing a very standard thing and basically doing the same or similar style to what Skyline himself is doing. But Skyline, having seen what's going on, and perhaps because he pulled some of the units back, does now feel safe enough to actually move out with just 3 siege tanks and a Goliath. Meanwhile, I like this by Cryok, using the random marine he had to just go and scout for hidden expansions. And yeah, it looks like Skyline's just going to establish a forward position here, taking the initiative. This is slightly risky, of course, because at this early point in the game, you have so few units that, you know, this kind of tank line is not particularly strong, and obviously he's really vulnerable to counterattacks in his main base. Like if Cryok went for a drop, or even if he snuck a few vultures around the side, that could be quite devastating. However, you know, having gone for this early press here, he is going to gain sort of the space advantage. Of course, TVT is a lot about, you know, map control and where you draw the tank lines and how much space you give yourself and how many bases you can take. So doing that is pretty nice. However, this is Outsider though, so this kind of move is not as effective as it would be on other maps, because even if Cryok gets kind of contained in his natural, he can just expand along the ring expansions anyway, so I'm not sure if this kind of move is necessarily worth the risk. However, Skyline is making good use of his tanks and his positioning, and has picked off one of the siege tanks of Cryok already here. But here we go, we've got a couple of dropships now for Cryok. He might just leave a couple of tanks defensively and go drop the rest of the units, and you know, because Terran is so much more effective defensively than offensively, he can really get away with defending with a minimal number of units while counterattacking with everything else. It looks like he's just going for 1 Goliath, 1 SCV though, perhaps just to expand here. Not really sure what that Goliath is for. But it looks like Skyline might lose this barracks for the time being though. And he will not quite lose the barracks and also get another siege tank. So Skyline really making good use of like the inching forward. Basically, obviously tanks can shoot farther than they can see, so if you just poke forward with your floating building to spot and you just inch forward with your tanks, you can oftentimes get really nice free shots on your opponent's tanks, especially also because Skyline was abusing how the tank line was kind of concave, whatever. It was bent out towards him, so he could pick off individual tanks that weren't covered by other tanks. So as you can see, he has a much nicer concave against Skyline's concave. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, as we can see, Cryok actually just uses Goliath to protect this expansion he's getting at the right side. Meanwhile, though, Skyline's actually, I guess he just tricked an SCV through or something, and he's expanding at the same time. So both players having pretty similar ideas here, but here we go. We are going to see a 1 tank, 1 Goliath drop. There should probably be a second Goliath here, to be honest. And unfortunately for him, that's also going to get spotted as well immediately, and there's 2 tanks already to help block. So it doesn't look like this is going to really accomplish too much. Skyline, meanwhile, did repair his barracks, but is continuing to take Goliath fire. He might even lose it this time because he's not paying attention. And yeah, the Goliath tank combo is going to get cleaned up pretty easy. That tank even surviving with 1 HP. Oh no! The barrack survives yet again here. That must be slightly annoying for Cryok. keep getting that down to burning and then not actually killing it. Meanwhile, though, Cracker, he's got his science facility already. It doesn't look like Skyline has, so Cryok could very well get the +2 attack upgrade more quickly. Is that +2 or +1? No, that's +1 still. But, yeah, you could definitely get the +2 more quickly, although it's still a while before the +1 finishes. So by that time, Skyline could actually just have his own science facility as well. Anyway, it looks like third base ready for both players. Cryok, though, the one with the dropships, is able to transfer all of the SCVs and the units, whereas Skyline actually doesn't look like he has any dropship. He's finally got his first dropship now, so he can do some transferring with these. He's also getting a second starboard here, so despite going for, you know, the very aggressive early contain with these tanks, he's also now following up with double dropships, and I think it's actually really smart, because if you focus too heavily on the ground here, again, it's not that important on Outsider because of all the ring expansions. So to just get this position, and then, you know, he's got plenty of tanks here. This is such a good concave for him that he can now just focus on going for the air. Oh man, he's going for cloak raids. Yeah, I really love this switch by Skyline. Look at him even building like a mini turret ring around the inside there. So yeah, even though Cryok has the supply lead, he's got about a 10 supply lead, and the economies are the same. Skyline has set up a much better overall position for himself on the map, which in many situations is even more important in TVT just because of how good tank lines are and how good defending is compared to attacking. Took a random scan here. I don't know what that was for. Maybe from Cryok to see that the path is safe for his dropships. I don't know why he's going with like only half of them loaded though. Got a completely empty one and only a half loaded one here. It's a real waste. I don't know if that's a mistake or what's going on. But this base, though, could be quite vulnerable to that drop. He's going towards it. No, he's actually dropped in the middle of the map for some reason. What? What the hell is this? Oh, he's going to go back here and siege the back of this base? I have no idea what's going on, but it looks like Skyline spotted it. So he's going to chase that down. Although if Cryok comes up here to the high ground, those tanks can't actually continue to pursue. Anyway, the Wraith fleet, though, looks like it's going to make its move. Skyline is going to reveal them now with just 3 Wraiths, but that could be good anyway. I think that's +2 now. Yeah, so that's +2 on the way. Still no science facility for Skyline, so Cryok definitely going to get that +2 way ahead of Skyline. And obviously that +2 attack does let him 2-shot his opponent's tanks, which is very, very handy. But otherwise, nothing too crazy. Meanwhile, both players, again, taking an additional expansion at about the same time. Really similar expansion timings, although as we can see, these raids, though, are making themselves known. The couple of Goliaths are going to pick off the first 2, but the raids are going to help the tanks bust up here onto the high ground and clean the rest of it up. So that little mini position is taken care of. But Cryok now going for another drop here. Again, not quite fully loading his dropships. I don't know what's up with him and half-empty dropships, but oh wells. Meanwhile, what do we have to defend? A couple of random turrets here. That could be, could at least pick off one of these dropships. Well, it looks like they might even pick off a second one. Oh man, they might even, yeah, it looks like they might pick off 2 of these dropships, in fact. Oh no, this one barely will survive with 1 turret shot left on it. But this position isn't particularly useful for either player. I mean, I guess it lets Cryok take this base, but that's a mineral only, so it's not that great. Meanwhile, looks like the Wraiths and some tanks are going to walk around the back here and start sieging down this base of Cryok, so denying that one from him, although of course he can still mine that gas if he just repositions the command center. And the gas obviously is the most important resource here anyway. Cryok, meanwhile, despite getting pushed back on many of these fronts, is still ahead in supply, 142 against 117, but now that Skyline has this base and Cryok's been denied his one, Skyline could start pulling ahead here. I mean, Cryok's been doing, you know, various drops and stuff, but doesn't actually seem to accomplish much with them at all, which is a little bit weird to me. I don't know, maybe he's better off just like dropping the tank line and busting out in the front. That might be his next maneuver. I hear some tanks killing stuff. What's going on? Oh, it's just a cleanup crew here at the top left. Looks like Cryok is actually going to keep this position for a little while longer. But yeah, as I said, Cryok repositioning his command center just to get this gas. He doesn't care about the minerals nearly as much, so it's okay that it's being denied. I wonder actually if a tank positioned here, can it shoot the gas? I feel like it can still shoot the gas if you siege it right up against the minerals, although you might need something to spot for it. I don't know if you can see that far. But he does have Wraiths to see it though. So that could be quite effective. That would actually be really obnoxious. We do see another load up here. Now is he... Well, first of all, is he going to fully load his dropships this time? And second of all, is he gonna do another counter drop, or is he actually gonna try and break this? He hasn't unsieged everything, so I feel like he's just gonna do another drop somewhere random. And it looks like, oh, he's actually brought a bunch of SCVs. Okay, looks like he's gonna go, he's gonna go take this base with the gas this time. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. And also by dropping units there, you can also protect it. Meanwhile, the Wraith's poking around here, so this is actually pretty interesting. See, Skyline focusing on the Wraiths, not getting dropships at all. So this is kind of like the clash of styles here. Tank Goliath dropship versus, well, essentially tank Wraith, I guess. It's not that many Goliaths being produced. And this is quite interesting, actually. On this map, I'm not really sure what's the better choice here. Skyline now, actually taking the bottom right main because he does have this contain off, so he has control of the middle, which allows him to do that safely. And looks like the cloaked Wraiths, though, going to be slightly annoying here. Going to get pushed away by a scan pretty easily, though. And so Skyline see what's going on over here, but there's not too much he can do about it. You know, Cryo can even take this gas as well if he wants later on, once this side gets a bit mined out. So it's probably a little bit annoying for Skyline that Krog's taking that, but of course he's got the bottom right main, so he can't really complain. The bases count is still more or less even, and the supply count for Cryok is actually pulling ahead somehow. 171 supply against 134 for Skyline. I don't know if, oh my god, he's got the triple armory build. Oh, that's probably on purpose though. Yeah, he's getting air weapons actually. So he's gonna get both. Wait, is that air armor or is that vehicle armor? I can't even tell. The armor upgrades look really similar. I don't know. Does somebody know which one that is? Does anybody know? Is that vehicle armor? I assume it's vehicle armor, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, we've got a big drop coming over this time. 5 dropships, looks like this time they are in fact all full. And Bakuryu says, Bakuryu and Nagisama say it's air armor. Queerness says it's ground armor. Lol, you see, nobody knows either. Alright, apparently it is air armor. Okay, cool. Air armor it is. Air armor it is. In the meantime, the mass Wraith's gonna start picking off these spawning buildings. This is slightly annoying. Oh my god, Karnak has a bunch of money now. He should be throwing down a lot of factories or something. Oh, that's what he's doing. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Now the only issue with that is that he's not doing the double air upgrades like Skyline is. So he'll be behind on the air upgrades for a little while here. He's in fact only got 1 armory still. But otherwise, that's going to be pretty sneaky here. Skyline, it's not going to see it coming, unless he scans there, of course, but yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. But I think Skyline does he have a resource advantage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, although this base technically has an additional gas. I think gas-wise they're actually even, but mineral-wise Skyline will have a slight advantage. But it looks like, whoa, the huge drop actually repositioned here at the bottom right, and now this bottom right main is completely exposed, but a big Wraith force is going to come in here, but it's going to barely miss the dropships though. And are there enough Goliaths? There's only 6 Goliaths here, but it might be enough though. Wraiths are not that great against Goliaths. He needs a scan though, and there's a scan. I don't think these Wraiths are going to hold up against Goliaths. They're going to try though. Skyline doing a bit of fancy micro. Is it going to be enough? He's losing a lot of these Wraiths though. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. And there's a siege up. The SCVs though coming out to fight to help the siege tanks, and I think Skyline will be able to clean this up with a little bit of the SCVs. It's going to be close. It looks like, yes, as long as he can pick off the Goliath, the Wraiths can do the rest of the work, and it is looking like he's going to do that. Although most of the SCVs, well, actually, it's like, well, some of the SCVs were killed, 5 SCVs remaining, but oh my god, here come the Cloak Wraiths of Cryok. Skyline's not going to know what hit him. Sup, dude? I can make Wraiths too. And there is the scan. Skyline scans it, but he's like, holy shit, that is more Wraiths than I expected. And now, all of the tanks are vulnerable here. Oh my god, he's got like 8 tanks here, but no anti-air. More Wraiths are coming in, but dropships from Cryok are coming in. Skyline could be in trouble at this base, but they're not dropping. Oh, they're going to the bottom left, completely ignoring everything here because he knows that the Wraiths can't take care of everything. He is instead gonna drop Skyline's expansions here. Cryok is going... It's going crazy here. Oh man, this is so cool. Look at this. Cryok is basically max. Skyline down to 134 supply. There is the big drop on the expansions of Skyline. Skyline is in gigantic trouble right now. He's bringing his Wraiths over, but there are plenty of Goliaths to deal with this. The Wraiths are picking off this base. The ground army is picking off the rest. GG! Cryok takes out Skyline on Outsider and evens up the score 1-1. I told you guys, this guy is a beast. Cryok is the guy to watch.